this shouldn't take long to get. The other thing that we're getting we're sending stuff over to the Senate. Well, most of the product that we've done is, except now we may have added in the last day or so, and some of what we added is Senate to the bill, like a hearing. Bernie doesn't like hearing. Excuse me, Bernie loves hearing. Manchin doesn't want hearing in the bill and all that stuff. So some is Senate-oriented, and then we had the family medical need. We figured if they're putting things in, then we can put something in, even if Manchin doesn't like it. So we are getting some bird and privilege. I think mostly we're getting privilege scrub, because privilege scrub is deadly to a bill. Birdable, it's important. You have to take it out, but privilege violation can take you out. So we're again getting that as we go along as well. But when we pass a bill, then they will see it in its aggregate and make.
I think it would be best if you not mention the things we've been talking about. There's something different about you, about the way you think. I find it fascinating, but others may not see it that way.
No, we're not sending a message in your bill, but we want to be sure that what we send is not birdable or bird bath or privilege scrub. They're the two exercises we're getting engaged, bathing exercises we're engaged in. And we're getting good response. There's no bad answer. It is what it is. There's a certain objectivity to it. It is what it is.
Archive this configuration. Open up her primaries. Perception. Emotional acuity. Bump it. 1.5%.
Updating.
Because whatever it is, this is the greatest, monumental, historic piece of legislation that any of us will ever be a part of it. And I say that with great proprietary ownership.
News for you from Senator Fetterman's team. During an early walk, he sustained a fall near his home. Out of an abundance of caution, he was transported to a hospital. Upon evaluation, it was established he had a ventricular fibrillation flare-up that led to him feeling lightheaded, falling to the ground, and hitting his face with minor injuries. Senator Fetterman, always in good spirits, always an optimist, quipped to his team, "If you thought my face looked bad before, wait until you see it now." And then he thanked the EMTs. Our prayers to Senator Fetterman. America Reports.
You can't always tell everything that's going on right up front, because if you tell everything that's going on right up front, then your enemy is going to know exactly what you're doing.
I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
So yeah, we have a bigger issue than just Democrats. We have an issue of the American indoctrinated people that just let things like this go. It's been happening for years and years and years, and frankly, I'm sick of it. And so I'm just telling you, they're telling you, and they've been telling you this stuff in front of your face for a really long time.
Our own government working against us. I mean, we've always had the government working against us. We just didn't know it. Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is the American Matters Radio Show. In case you didn't know, and I'm April Lejeune, and today I am going to be talking about this. I don't really think it's a bombshell, but it could be a bombshell to most. I actually tried to find videos about this thing with Eric Swalwell. There is nothing. And I find that very interesting because this was just announced yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was during my show. But anyway, Congressman Eric Swalwell, yes, Eric Swalwell, the same one who spent years pointing at everybody else, has now been hit with a criminal referral for mortgage fraud. And let me tell you, this is bigger than just Swalwell, obviously. because we also have two other people that have been indicted. Well, excuse me, not true. We have Letitia James indicted for mortgage fraud, and then there's Adam Schiff and now Eric Swalwell, who have been are now under investigation for the same exact thing. So this is a window into corruption, an actual corrupt financial system, a rigged mortgage machine, which some of you are very well aware of, and the two-tier justice system that's been crushing Americans for decades. So before we get into that, I want to say hello to a few people. We've got I saw that. I'm going to have to say something about that in just a minute. We've got Kim and Iris. How are you, Iris? I haven't seen you for a little while. We've got Richard Reeves in the room as well. Sophia, how are you today? And we've got Nice Industrial Tech. Nice to see you too. Some of you guys might have gotten my email. If you haven't been to my website, you need to sign up for my email. I do a newsletter every now and then, and it's at the bottom of the front page of my website. All you have to do is go there and sign up. I don't do it a lot. I don't spam you, so you don't have to worry about that. But when things are important, I do send something out. Lord Black says this. May Pelosi watch the remainder of our mega revolution on CNN in federal prison. That's pretty good. That's a good one right there. Who else? WC. So we've got all the gang in here. Wendy's in the room. Wireman, how are you today? Nice to see you. I saw that you're in going to be a part of the weekend class. That's great. Paula, nice to see you too. And we've got John over there on Rumble. Who else is in here? Oh, Brian Richard. Yeah, Basic Guitar Strategies. How are you today? I'm pretty sure I know exactly who you are. J.M. Hossman. Hey, haven't seen you for a while. Your season is coming up here pretty soon. Yeah, so tis the season, that is for sure. So we're going to talk about this mortgage fraud thing. Here's what's interesting though, so far. Nobody's really talking about it, and I don't get it. Okay, so it reminded me right away of the firm. Okay, my internet is going in and out. That's terrible. It reminded me of the firm because, there's all these crimes that the Republicans, some of the Republicans, but the Democrats are committing like right in front of your face every single minute of every single day. Okay, they're just so blatant, so obvious. Okay. One of the problems that I can see that's happening right now is they're having a hard time putting their finger on something that they think is going to stick to bring these guys down. So just like in the firm. Okay. So here's the firm. It's the Tom Cruise movie. He's finding out all of these things that the firm is involved with. And that is a firm that is a law firm. And he's a lawyer there. He's a new lawyer. He's sitting there and he's looking at all this stuff and going, wait a minute, there's a bunch of crimes going on here. So especially overbilling people. And they're like, well, how are we going to get them on that? They finally figure out that the best way to take down the firm is through mail fraud, because the mail fraud, as they're sending these billing errors to the people, they're using the United States Postal Service to do it. And the weight of the government, because if you go down to your local sheriff's office, what do? Well, I don't know what you're talking about. We don't cover that. The people are literally committing crimes. Things that are jailable offenses. If you did it and I did it, we'd be in jail in 2 seconds. The sheriff would be knocking on our door in just 2 seconds after whatever. And these guys have been doing this stuff for years and years and years and years. That's a problem. So it might not be sexy, as they said in the movie. It might not be sexy, but it works. So that's where we are right now. Mortgage fraud might not be the thing that you think is like the big bombshell of the day. Apparently Eric Swalwell sleep with Fang Fang, a Chinese spy. What did they do? Zero. Not a thing. The Democrat base, I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't matter to me with who he sleeps with. It kind of does to me, especially when you're on the intelligence committee. But any government position that you have, sleeping with a spy, are you seriously kidding me right now? Okay. But today we're not just talking about Swalwell and what he allegedly did. We're breaking down the mechanics of mortgage fraud, why politicians get away with it while you get foreclosed on, and how this entire scandal ties into securitization. It's a Wall Street bundle and the criminal feeding tube that is called the mortgage industry. So, this is huge. Even though the everyone isn't talking about it. I think it is like, let me see. I think it's as big as child sex trafficking. Okay, because so many people have mortgages. You can go out in a neighborhood. All of those people have mortgages for the most part. And the problem is every single one of those are fraud. Every single one. But Eric Swalwell, so what's happening is, even though the mortgage companies are committing fraud, Eric Swalwell is committing fraud on his end as well. Maybe he thought that if I commit mortgage fraud, I already know they're frauds. So maybe we can just bribe the mortgage company and I'm not going to talk about it. So apparently that's not going to happen for him. I want to share my screen with you real quick because this is coming from NBC News. All right. This is not some kind of right-wing publication. Absolutely not. So let's go through the article and then we'll talk about it. Trump official refers Representative Eric Swalwell for a federal criminal probe over alleged mortgage fraud. Swalwell is the latest Democrat to face mortgage fraud allegations from Federal Housing Finance Agency head Bill Pulte, who sent a letter to the Justice Department on Wednesday. So see, this guy is doing something about it. And so I'm going to try my best to turn in the mortgage company side. I wrote them a letter, an email the other day on their website, wrote them a letter, an email, and haven't heard back. So I'm going to write a formal letter with all of the data that I have and say, I have so much more data, you have no idea. So if he wants to talk about mortgage fraud, he needs to be talking about the companies themselves. But here is Eric Swalwell, Democrat from California. He is a frequent critic of President Donald Trump, but he played a major role in the impeachment proceedings and everything else that's happened against Donald Trump. So a top housing official in President Donald Trump's administration has referred California Democratic Representative Eric Swalwell to the Justice Department for a potential federal criminal probe based on allegations of mortgage and tax fraud related to a Washington, D.C. home, according to a person familiar with the referral. He is the fourth Democratic official to face mortgage fraud allegations in recent months. Bill Pulte, the director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, alleged in a letter sent to Attorney General Pam Bondi on Wednesday that Swalwell may have made false or misleading statements in loan documents. The same thing that Adam Schiff did, same thing Letitia James, and I forgot all about, I think her name is Linda Scott, I believe, from the Federal Reserve. Yeah, that's a problem too. The matter has also been referred to the agency's acting inspector general. See, now they're giving you clues on what to do. When you find this stuff out, these are the people that you send the complaint to. Okay. The matter has also been referred to the agency's acting inspector general, this person said. As the most vocal critic of Donald Trump over the last decade, and is the only person who still has a surviving lawsuit against him, the only thing I am surprised about is that it took this long to come after me, Swalwell said in a statement to NBC News. Now, see, this is the smugness of Swalwell. Because he just keeps on with his arrogant attorney. This is why I can't stand attorneys. The arrogance of him thinking that he's going to get away with something because he's an attorney. This is the same thing that happens all the time with these high-powered, and I say high-powered attorneys because they think that they're untouchable and they think they can do whatever they want. The referral, according to the source, alleges several $1 million worth of loans and refinancing based on Swalwell declaring his primary residence as Washington. Now, see, if that's the case, that isn't who he's representing. He's representing California. It calls for an investigation into possible mortgage fraud, state and local tax fraud, and insurance fraud, as well as any related crimes. The Justice Department did not immediately return a request for comment, but the move comes as Trump has publicly urged the prosecution of his political opponents. Now, remember, we're reading NBC News. He has called for the prosecution of people who are committing crimes that are politicians. Pulte previously sent criminal referrals to the Justice Department for two other prominent Democratic critics of Trump, New York Attorney General Letitia James and Senator Adam Schiff of California. So one is from New York, one is from California, as well as the Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook, who was nominated by then President Joe Biden on an allegation of mortgage fraud. Now, that's what he's saying. She was referred to for the mortgage fraud as well. All three have denied wrongdoing, of course, as usual. Like James Comey and John Bolton, Adam Schiff and Lisa Cook, Letitia James, and the dozens more to come. I refuse to live in fear in what was once the freest country in the world, he added. This is Eric Swalwell talking, referring to other Democrats and Trump critics who have been targeted by the administration. Targeted! Oh, how dare you expose our crimes? Of course, I will not end my lawsuit against him, which no one cares about because you'll lose anyway. And I will still not stop speaking out against the president for speaking up for Californians, said the stupid, moronic piece of crap, Eric Swalwell. Yeah, so I don't know about you, but that kind of ridiculousness from Eric Swalwell is always getting on my nerves. Real Estate Mindset on YouTube, good site to watch on property taxes. Have lawsuit out in Texas. But hope for class action reassessment of property is taking unrealized capital gains versus our Constitution. Well, I know they do this all the time. Oh, thank you, Valerie. I always knew Swalwell was a yes, and mortgage fraudster. Of course. I knew Swalwell was a quirk. Lock him up forever. Yes, this is exactly what they accused Trump of doing, which he didn't do because he didn't fill out the papers for one thing. Okay, which I highly doubt that any of these people did, except Letitia James. I think she probably did fill out her own paperwork. But they definitely orchestrated it to be done. And when they were asked questions, I'm sure they answered, oh, just put it as my primary residence. See, this is the problem with these guys. That's what they always do. So it's just, to me, totally inconceivable that they're continually getting away with this stuff all the time. So Eric Swalwell's criminal referral is a senior, which was Bill Pulte, housing official filed a formal criminal referral against Eric Swalwell. The allegation is false statements on mortgage documents, specifically whether the property was designated as a primary residence, investment property, or misrepresented for favorable terms, which of course he says it's primary residence. But of course they got to look on this. This affects the mortgage interest rate, the down payment requirement, because you have a lower down payment if it's your primary residence, and also a lower rate on the mortgage interest. There's also tax deductions. You get a lower insurance rate, and it also affects the loan eligibility. So the Inspector General for the Federal Housing Finance Agency and federal investigators are the ones who've been notified about this. This comes during a nationwide crackdown. Other politicians are going to face the same exact scrutiny. So now, stopping right there, because misrepresenting a mortgage is something you would go to prison for. The Congress, They seem to get a primetime news coverage and a shrug, if they even get coverage at all, which of course, Eric Swalwell is getting zero coverage so far. I know because I looked everywhere to find some kind of video on this for sure. What are you saying over here? As you know, the mortgage interest rate on a second home or not a primary residence is like 2/3 point higher than your primary residence. This rule applies to everyone. Well, except him, of course, because he's Eric Swalwell. So what happens when you do it? When a regular person fills out a mortgage application, the bank demands basically your blood, your DNA, urine sample, and probably your firstborn. If you put the wrong box, if you check the wrong box on the application, or if you just say it's a primary residence when you're actually going to rent it out to somebody, or you mismatch your income numbers, those are felonies. You can be charged with mortgage fraud, bank fraud, wire fraud, tax fraud, false statements to a financial institution. So this is an issue. Yeah, it just now hit Fox. Well, I was first. Okay, I'm just kidding. So you could lose your home. You could lose all your credit. Your credit score would go down, and you could lose your freedom. But Eric Swalwell, well, he is privileged, and so is Letitia James. We get a fine, and you have to pay a heavy fee and put a lien on the property. Yeah, they absolutely do put a lien on the property as well. And then they're going to take you off to prison. And probably what they're going to do is they're going to raid your home of some sort, and they're going to take you down in front of all your neighbors. Okay. Now, if you're a high and mighty person, they're going to call you on the phone and say, hey, you might need to get your attorney on this, because, and then we'll see what kind of surrender date we can negotiate here. Isn't that what they did with James Comey? They said, oh, we don't want him to go in the front door. So they made up a fake press conference in the front while Comey snuck in the back. But see, when Washington does it, they get a pass. They get a press release. It's just a referral. And then there's going to be a committee meeting on this. And this is where the story gets deep, because Swalwell's case opens the door to exposing the entire mortgage scheme in America. So how the system is designed to protect the politicians is basically, to me, it's sickening. It should be sickening to you. Members of Congress have access to special mortgage products that you don't have. They know exactly how securitization works, and you don't, because you're not even aware that your loan is being securitized at all. They understand the tax games and how primary residency works. And they also have insider loopholes. Just like Pelosi doing insider trading, such BS. She should be in prison. I agree with that. 100%. Yeah. So since they know exactly how it works, they know the regulators personally. They know exactly who to talk to. And banks just look the other way. And the bureaucrats lose the paperwork. Oh gosh, I don't know what you're talking about. And the inspector general drags their feet. While you, of course, are foreclosed on, you have bogus judges that are there, ignore evidence, ignore the securitization issue, ignore TILA, ignore the actual statutes that are on the books in every single state across the United States. Every single state has laws that govern foreclosure, and they specifically say they have to have the wet ink signature note. They have to have the deed of trust, and those two things cannot be separate. And they have to have an unbroken chain of title, but they always have that. And not only that, when they don't have those two things, they're supposed to have some kind of a permission letter to foreclose on a person from the pool where your mortgage is securitized. They don't have that either. And the judge just does this. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see anything here in front of me. And we've made those things judicial notice in the cases that we're working on. Meanwhile, the average American is thrown into the foreclosure for a document the mortgage company should have, but can't find. And speaking of documents, let's talk about the real heart of the mortgage fraud, the securitization scheme. This is what's actually going on. See, Eric Swalwell already knows all this stuff. So does Letitia James. So does Adam Schiff and every single member of Congress. Don't think that just the Democrats know it, because the Republicans know it too. So the big picture that you never get to see is what we're talking about. This is where Swalwell's situation plugs into the entire machine. So let's break this down in the securitization into simple terms, so hopefully you guys can see what I'm talking about here. Banks don't hold your loan. They sell it immediately. Now, before they used to use promissory notes, and they would just hold on to it. I think they had to hold on to it like 60 to 90 days or something like that. Sometimes it was 120 days. But they wanted faster money, faster. So they made it so that you're just directly signing a security from the very beginning. Okay, so the note is already the security, and you're signing it with your wedding signature right then and there. Yeah, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all of that. Okay. So they sell it immediately, and it gets bundled into a Wall Street trust. And each of these little bundles has a QSIP number attached to it. So investors buy little slices of your payment stream. So they're going to buy little teeny slices of that, that bundle. And no one actually owns the mortgage. The servicers pretend that they owe it. Banks don't own cash money either. No, they don't. They don't, and they can't. That would be illegal. They don't even have good credit. Their credit is so bad that the Federal Reserve discount window, where they use that stuff, the papers that you signed, won't even give them any kind of cash or loan or anything without having 100% collateral on the other side. That's how bad the bank's credit actually is. But you're supposed to have high credit, right? Foreclosures become profit centers and not a legal process because they can sell it again, remember? So here's where the fraud happens. When the loan is transferred without your consent. Now, I have people who I know who are House representatives. I mean, I like personally know them, and senators and people in the political realm who don't even understand this right now. They don't understand that this is a fraud. They think that they actually loaned you something, but you didn't get a check. It didn't go through your bank account, but yet you're still paying. Some of you were couriers. Some of you went from this location to that location. They handed you a check to give to somebody else. You're just a courier. When signatures are faked, also, that's a problem. That's where the fraud happens too. And that happens on almost every single mortgage. Did you know that they have robo-signing jobs? You probably didn't even know that either. That is an illegal thing to do on a mortgage, but they do it anyway. There was one woman who was working in a bank, and she was asked about being a robo-signer, and she was like, yeah, that's what I do all day long. She didn't even know it was illegal. And then also when the assignments are fabricated, they're just blatant lies. When notes are lost or recreated, because they always lose the note. Well, we don't have to have the paperwork. They say that all the time. When the servicer claims to have standing, but they never brought anything to court. They never have anything at all. They file suits against you, claiming that they have the right to sue you for mortgage. And some of them don't even do that, because half the states in the United States of America are non-judicial foreclosure, which means they can just send you a series of letters and then put a sale date on. And the stupid, ridiculous, under oath sheriff won't even stop it. He just gets this note. Oh, okay. Looks like you're in foreclosure. And then takes it over to your house and sticks it on your door. And then when you go, excuse me, where's the court order here? He just go, oh, I got this paper. That's all I need. Hey, Jonathan Shannon, nice to see you. And it's not all he needs. The sheriff isn't even doing their duty because they don't care about you. They never have. And Swalwell allegedly played the game in reverse. He allegedly manipulated the front end of the system while the homeowners get crushed on the back end. So he knew exactly what he was doing. So let's get even deeper. How does this affect you personally, what he's doing? So it does affect everyday Americans when these people do this. The scandals affect you in several ways. Mortgage scrutiny is going to tighten. Banks may lock down underwriting. You're going to have rigorous residency verification. You will, not him, because he's him. Just you. You're going to have some ridiculous load of tax documentation, because how many times, oh, we got to have the last 5 years of your taxes. And see, here's what's the problem about the tax situation, which shouldn't even have any verification on it at all. When you're doing your taxes, you're trying to do the lowest that you can possibly do. Okay. So you don't want to be putting on your tax returns, this high amount that you have on the side. So if you put in your tax forms and it says, oh, well, after all these, you only made this much money. Okay. It's not even real. It's not, if your taxes, if your documents reflected that you made more money than you actually do, because you got to take all the deductions. If you guys are doing that stuff, you got to take all the deductions you can get. That lowers your income. So what about the employment records? What about that? Well, do you have a job? Can you pay this back? Well, you know what I want to know is, why does the bank not have good enough credit that they can just not use a 100% credit? Why is your credit so low that the Federal Reserve discount window is making you put up 100% collateral, which they're getting from you, by the way? Not getting it from anybody else. They don't take their deposits, the deposits of everybody, and go, okay, I think we're going to take the deposits and we're going to loan that money out. They don't, because that would be illegal. Because that's money that they owe to other people. They owe that money to the person who deposited it. So they can't touch that money. The only thing that the deposits are doing is making it so that they can loan out a certain amount of money, supposedly. And I say that, but I mean writing paper, because they can't pay anything back. I know. They're taking all the money in the loop. Exactly. This is just ridiculous to me. So what that means is, and the credit thing, the credit score. Okay. The only thing that the credit score is for is so that they can figure out, how much insurance do I need to put on this particular loan? So if you have a higher credit score, they don't need to put as much insurance on that loan, because they know you're going to pay, because you're one of those people that go, oh, I pay my bills all the time. I don't understand how you people can think that, you can just take out a loan and then you don't pay it back. Because you're the one who's funding it. Hello. If you knew how banking worked, you wouldn't be saying that stupid stuff. Have you looked at the bank buy-in thing? You mean like you buying into a bank, or what are you talking about? 20% down on a $1.5 million home, plus $1,500 a month in property taxes. Yeah, a month. The housing prices are ridiculous. Are you in California or something? Because $1 million home in California is like nothing. It's like a hovel. They're pricing out young people from ever owning a home. Yeah, they're trying to, because they want everybody in 15-minute cities. So yeah, that's true. So that makes it harder to buy a home, harder to refinance a home. There's going to be more denials and more bureaucratic hoops, which is interesting because, and this 50-year mortgage thing is stupid. I think that's just stupid. Because it's all the same fraud, no matter how many years it wants to span. Okay, that's just for them to make even more money. So I think that was just dumb. I don't even know why that was even a thing. But what this does is it does confirm a two-tier system. When the elites commit fraud, they have meeting. We're going to have a meeting. We're going to have the committee come in and say something. But when you and I, if we were committing fraud, we would be in jail. I thought property taxes was once a year. Yeah, but see, in some of these mortgages, what they do is they have the person pay the property taxes within the mortgage itself. And so it's an added in thing. So here's what they're doing. They're having, here's the mortgage. Okay. Then they add the property taxes so that they have this pool of money at the end of the year. And then they also have insurance. So if you default on the mortgage, the insurance kicks in and it's paid already. So why are they, what was the reason that they were foreclosing on you? What was that reason? Because they're certainly not paying back the insurance. And then it's also assured again when it's securitized on the other side. So you guys are paying insurance on that, and there's insurance on the pool. So at least there's 2 steps of insurance there. It exposes corruption in DC financial networks too. The same people writing the housing laws are the ones that are breaking them. How many times have I said that? The people who are writing the laws are the attorneys, the Bar Association. The Bar Association is writing the laws, and the Bar Association is who is breaking the laws in court. The Bar Association are the people who are buying houses knowing this scheme and breaking the law there too. It opens the door to broader investigations, I hope, of these politicians. Once one politician exposed, investigators started asking who else is doing this. Okay. Is it your staffers? Is it your donors? Is it the lobbyists? What about the PACs, the people who fund these people? What about the developers? I have a developer right now who is committing so much fraud just on the front. There's the front end of the supposed contract, and the people who are signing the contract with the developer don't even know how much fraud is in there because it's not even a binding contract. It's worse. It's a worse contract than a regular mortgage contract from the bank. It's worse. Okay. It's really, really bad. What are you saying over here? I moved away from California in 2022. I do not know that no one who owns, I do know that no one owns a home is not able to get insurance on the home. That stinks. That stinks. Most people are underinsured anyway, because the only thing that the insurance even covers is the payment itself. Is the mortgage amount, whatever that was. It doesn't even cover rebuilding the house. That's pretty bad. It shows the government knows the mortgage system is already broken. They already know. So this referral is not just about Eric Swalwell. It's about a system they know is criminal, but won't fix it because it's profitable. That's what makes me wonder about Bill Pulte, because he knows. He knows all about it. So let's talk about why they're all of a sudden cracking down on this. Okay. Why now? I think one is because of the Trump administration. I really do. I think it is only being pushed through because the Trump administration is one, they're trying to root out crime. But here's the other thing. The mortgage system itself is collapsing under its own weight. The fraud is just too big to hide anymore. There are more and more people who contact me every single day about their mortgage fraud, and they don't know what to do with it. The HOAs are the same way. I have an appointment soon to renew my food stamps. That's good. The political climate is also shifting. So with the leadership change, obviously the Trump administration, the DOJ is allowing selective enforcement. I say selective enforcement, because there are things where I think that they should be enforcing other things, because I think the crime by the politicians is so blatant that you could almost just charge them with just about anything that you can think of at the moment. But I do think it's the Trump administration. If you buy a home in California, you cannot get insurance for your home because all the fire. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I believe that. fires and all the people who had to use the insurance on damaged homes. That's not good. So, I don't know what people are doing in California right now, but that's what insurance companies do, is they gauge their risk. And the other thing is the people are waking up to the scheme. People are questioning securitization notes. They're securitizing. What's happening with this note? What is this securitization? Where's the money going? They're having audits done. I mean, there are companies out there who will do forensic audits on people's paperwork and find the paper trail of that particular mortgage. They're standing and they want to know, who is this servicer? Why is this changed hands so many times? It's totally ridiculous and unacceptable. I got my house from this person, supposedly, and now all of this. So, and they want to know, where's the chain of title? When the public wakes up, the politicians start pointing fingers at each other because all they're trying to do is save themselves. I hope you know that that's true. That's exactly what they're trying to do. So it is a problem. It is a problem that now the people are waking up to what's going on. My homeowners, your insurance increased by $2,500 this year. What? Was it taxes or insurance? What? I bet it was insurance. Yeah, that's not good. So there is a story behind the actual headline. This isn't really about one property, and it's not about one congressman either. It's about exposing the mortgage securitization scam, because that's what it is, and revealing the political privilege that's out there, showing how regulators protect insiders. Because I don't know if you know this or not right now, but Trump's like all over the insurance companies. Now, of course, they're talking about healthcare, but it's the same thing with the insurance companies that have stuff to do with mortgages as well. Mail yesterday going to reassess on a yearly basis going forward homeowners insurance. Oh, yeah, that's going to be fun. So I'm hoping that this is going to open the door to massive reform in the mortgage industry at all. And the reason I'm saying that is because so many people are affected by this. All of these people are affected by this. People who know what's going on are able to manipulate the system, like Eric Swalwell. What did you say? A lot of homes in California are in flood zones. The area is the area where Swalwell serves. So when it rains, a lot of, if any, of the levees break, your home gets flooded. That's terrible. That is terrible. Blue Cross Blue Shield is increasing my premiums from $58 to $600 plus if I keep the same plan in January. That's insane. Yeah, well, hopefully if Donald Trump does what I think he's going to do, he's going to be giving money to the people so that they can buy their own insurance. What does it say? Meanwhile, banks can't loan money, and the statutes, codes, and policies apply to the U.S. corporations, not the people. True. Trump's going after his political opponents. That's what they're going to say. Trump is going after his political opponents. How dare he? This is going to finally prove what the homeowners are saying, what they've been saying over the last, I don't know, I'm going to say probably at least 20 years. But lately it's getting more and more and more that the mortgage game is absolutely rigged. I don't know about you, but the rigging of the system, which includes judges and politicians. I mean, how many judges do you see? You go, whoa, how did you get that multi-million-dollar house with being a judge on this salary? You know? So how did all these politicians, I mean, Nancy Pelosi's wage, what her actual salary is like, I want to say by now it's probably $200,000, maybe $250,000 a year. AOC is $175,000. Since AOC has been in office, which has only been like I want to say 6 years, maybe 4. It seems like forever. I mean, because yappity yap yap yap. Okay. 220,000 is Nancy Pelosi. Yeah. AOC is only 175, and they're multi-millionaires. Multi-millionaires. AOC is constantly having people give her clothes to wear. Designer clothes. When she got in there, she had pretty much nothing. And within months, she was already a multi-millionaire. That is over the top. I think Pelosi's worth like 200 million now. I think that last estimate it was like $200 million. And I think AOC is like, oh, it seems like $4 or $5 million. I can't remember, but it's not low. I mean, you and I probably aren't worth that. Now, when we say worth, we're talking about assets too, but she's got cash in the pocket. Millionaires are the new poor. Note how they target billionaires. Now, I know Bernie, he instead of saying millionaires and billionaires, he's now saying just billionaires because he happens to be a millionaire now. And the only reason he became a millionaire is because he dropped out of the race when they told him to, and they started giving him money like Bernie, tap, 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 Bernie, tap, tap, tap. If you stop what you're doing, we'll tell you the secret of how we became multimillionaires. But you're going to have to shut your pie hole and stop running for president against Hillary Clinton. Yeah, Ilhan Omar, I believe this is true. Ilhan Omar is worth 30 million. And did you know, I don't know if you know this or not, the other day she said, I don't care about being deported. What difference does it make to me? And she just brushed it off. So I say, if she's okay with being deported, deport her now. Deport her now. She's married to a guy who was already a multimillionaire. So, I mean, hey, if you want to go to Somalia, see ya. Oh, the Rocky Mountains. You know, I just wish the liberals hadn't ruined it over there. Just saying. Because I miss the snow and all that stuff. I got no snow. I got leaves everywhere. So here's the thing. And I hope you guys will do something about this with Swalwell. Swalwell's criminal referral could be the spark that exposes an entire nationwide mortgage racket. A racket that's destroyed families, stolen people's homes, and fueled Wall Street profits for decades. I mean, for decades. So this is not a Democrat problem. It's not a Republican problem. It's actually a corruption problem. And it's long past time that there was some accountability there. Really. So I'm going to ask you, because I think that this channel, I personally think this channel has some of the information that you're not going to get anywhere else. Even Mark Dice doesn't talk about stuff that I think he should be talking about. So if you want to subscribe, share, and comment, and join the fight against these politicians who have privilege, and make sure that people like Eric Swalwell are held accountable. Adam Schiff, Letitia James, Nancy Pelosi, all of these people. You need to definitely subscribe to this channel, like, share, make sure that the people that you know watch this channel, because I bring you stuff that no one else will bring you. I couldn't even believe that there was nothing out there, because this story actually broke yesterday while I was on my show, and they did nothing about it. People were remaining silent. I don't understand why you would remain silent about that. This is a huge, huge problem. The privilege that the politicians have over everyone else is just absolutely ridiculous. You are the people. The people are the ones that are in charge, not these people. And it's going to take you guys to mind shift and remember that you're the ones in charge. You're going to have to hold these people accountable, whether it's Eric Swalwell or someone else that's in your local area. You know, the bar, aka the bankers, are the issues. I do think it's the Bar Association. Absolutely. That is the major problem in the United States of America. Because if you think about it, It is the Bar Association members that are in every single aspect of your life. They're the ones who are writing the policy, like I said before. They're the ones who are writing the laws that govern mortgages and securities. All of this, okay? They're the ones who are doing it. They're the ones who are sitting up there in the black robes when you go to court because some ridiculous company has come after you for foreclosure that they've already been paid for multiple times. They're the ones who are sitting in that black robe saying, I don't want to see your discovery. I don't care that you have the SEC reports. I don't care about your audit. I don't care about the fact that you've got CUSIP numbers. I don't care that your signature was used to actually create money. I don't care that nothing was ever loaned. I don't even care that the forged signature. They're the ones sitting up there doing that, the Bar Association. They're the ones breaking the laws. They're the ones making the laws. The only people that can hold them accountable is going to be you. That's why I think it's really important to stay on these stories and understand what's going on. You know, I have so many people that are around me that say, I don't pay attention to the news. I don't pay attention to anything. I don't know what's going on. And I think to myself, then why in the heck are you even complaining about anything? You have nothing to complain about, and all you need to do is put your head down, make as much money as you can, and give it to the man, because that they're taking everything from you. Attorneys charge ridiculous fees too. I know. You know, until I started doing legal work, I kept thinking the same thing about, you know, attorneys are charging ridiculous prices. Most attorneys charge ridiculous prices and don't do anything. All they're going to do is bump bellies in the back room and make a deal. They try to make it seem like they're doing all this stuff. Now, I do know a few hardworking attorneys, a few. And what's interesting about them is they can't wrap their mind around this kind of stuff where the attorneys are the problem. They literally thought that they were getting into a profession. I know, because I just asked one of them that is my friend. I just asked him the other day. I said, didn't you think that you were getting into a profession where you could help somebody? And he said, yeah, I thought I was getting into a profession that was going to be upstanding and all that kind of thing. And now he's becoming to realize that the actual problem are the attorneys, because he's fighting in court all day against corruption. And he was wondering, how come I can't ever seem to win? It's because he's arguing law and they're butt kissing corruption. Yeah, it is a big club. It's a big club where they protect their own and keep each other employed and paid. Exactly. And if you guys heard me say this before, it is unjust enrichment, which is against the law. I don't know if you guys heard me say this before, but every single court case has a CUSIP number on it. Every single mortgage has a CUSIP number on it. Everything that you do has a CUSIP number on it, and it's being traded. Even a license. Okay, so your driver's license, your marriage license, your business license, whatever that might be, your bank account. I mean, just anything that you can think of that's got a number attached to it has a CUSIP number attached to it also. You need a Series 7 broker for that. So on a different note, I am having this guy teach a class this weekend. Now, I know it's last minute, but here's the reason why it's so last minute. So I have a lot of customers or clients that have real big time issues, either with credit cards, criminal cases, mortgages, foreclosure, and all that kind of stuff. And I've been trying to get a hold of this guy for at least 2 months. Okay. Yesterday, he finally was able to reach. We were able to connect. Okay. So I saw that he called and I was like, I missed it. So I tried texting him to see if he would call back, which he finally did call back. I thought he wasn't going to, but he did. So I was talking to him and I said, hey, we need to know about how to use this liquidation with the IRS. Okay. Now, there's one thing about the whistleblower forms and all that stuff, but he's going to be telling us about the 1099As and Bs and using the IRS to liquidate all of those things. All right. All of them, the credit cards, the car loans, the mortgages, the criminal cases, the bank accounts, all that stuff. He's going to be telling us how to do it. All right. He's going to be going through the forms and he's going to be showing us exactly how to do it. And so I said, well, when can you do it? And since I know that some of my people are pressing issues, he said he would do it if I could find out when the people wanted to do it. Well, I had some of my people say, well, can we do it on on Saturday? And I was like, sure, absolutely. Because he said, as soon as I tell him, he'll do it the next day. So I told him, I said, okay, they said they want to do it on Saturday. So that's how come the Saturday last minute class. Okay. I didn't really want to do it that fast, but it's better to be fast and get it over with. And so we can get the information, because some people have their court dates coming up like yesterday. So I want to make sure that they get the information. So this class it's basically liquidation on court cases. We're going to really focus on that, but it's also, you can ask him questions about everything else. Now, normally he charges $1,000 for this class, but this time it's just going to be $500. So I was like, wow, good. He's giving us a total break on this, because what he does, I'm going to see if I can. What he does is he normally does, I guess, an every Wednesday night thing, which I cannot dedicate Wednesday. I can't do that. Okay. I'm exhausted by the end of the day. So he's going to do it for us all at once, because he just does this Wednesday thing where people pay him $1,000 and they get this call, I guess, for a month or something like that. He's going to do it for us all in one day. And you can ask him the questions and all that kind of stuff. Instead of a call, it's going to be a Zoom. And he's got the documents, and we're going to go over all the documents. So I think that's really good. You're right about that. That is for sure. So this class is $500 instead of the regular $1,000. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to say class below this video. And you can also email me. Let me put the banner up here so you can see what my email address is. You can email me and let me know that you want to be involved in the class, okay? And I'll include you in that. You can also go to my website at aprilajune.com, which you can see right there, aprilajune.com, all right? And you can sign up for my newsletter. And when my newsletter goes out, because I'm going to be sending it out, I sent one out today, I'm going to send one out tomorrow, and I'm going to send one out on Saturday again. Now, everybody who signed up for the class, and I have them right here on this list, are going to get the link to the class. He's going to send it to me. I'm going to send it out to everybody. So please make sure that you guys, if you want to get in that class, like I said, he's going to show you how to take care of it. And I know that that is something that I don't necessarily, it's going to probably cut out of my money, but I don't care. I would rather empower you guys to take care of your own situations and learn as much as you can. Because then, see, if you learn how to do it, then you can help other people in your family, people who are your friends, and everybody can start working together. And I don't have to do it all. I've got hard cases of people who are already in court or going to court or needing to be in court for one reason or another. And we're going to do this to help them with that. And then we're going to have to close out these cases and put these judges and these attorneys in prison. So anyway, go to my website right there, aprilajune.com, sign up for my email. Email me there if you want to go to the class. Put below here that you want to go to the class. I'm going to be going through my email or my videos so that I can get to you as quickly as I possibly can. All right, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And you know what? Just keep fighting. Just keep fighting the good fight. And that's what we've been doing here for about almost 10 years now.